I'm Alli. I'm at ISIS with Even the Animals. They are going to be performing here on June 20th on the main stage. They recently performed in the lounge upstairs at ISIS. You might have caught that show. But in advance of the June 20th show, we're going to talk a little bit about the band, which is relatively new to Asheville. So, Jeff, you've written songs for and been in a number of other local bands like Kerouac or The Radio and The Last Call, and I was wondering about how just your evolution as a songwriter kind of led from those groups to where you are now with Even the Animals.
Well, like I say, everything is a work in progress, and so with Kerouac or The Radio, it was very young, and a lot of the things that I was singing about were things to come, and then in The Last Call it was very in the moment, and so with Even the Animals it's definitely kind of reflects maybe an older, more mature mindset, I suppose. So a lot of what I write is looking back onto all those experiences. I think Even the Animals is what I've always intended to do, but maybe I just didn't know how.
Oh, Lord, don't take me tonight. I'm in need of my life. I'll be here when morning comes, digging up bones and calling those. Should've known better, should've been home, staying
So you all actually named the band after a line from one of your songs, and I was wondering which came first, the song or the band name?
I think that they kind of fell at the same time. When I was writing the song Love and Loss that it comes from, I was missing that piece of the song, and Pete and I were talking about band names and what to call the name of the band. And Even the Animals is, I think it's an older term. I used to hear my grandmother use it a lot, and it's a term for something that's very obvious, you know? So you would say that something is so obvious even the animals know it. And so it seemed to fit with the song, and then when I wrote the line, I kind of realized that that would be the name of the band.
Will you love me 'cause I was no good? Love me 'cause I was a faker. When you came home, even the animals knew, but they were in for.
I think that the group of songs on your current album they're really beautiful and melodic, but there's also this kind of underlying melancholy to them. And I feel like there's something about that, like something in human nature is drawn toward melancholy. And I wondered if, as either of you as musicians or songwriters, had thoughts on that.
That's actually something that really struck me about Jeff's songs when I found him on Craigslist, of all places. I've been looking on Craigslist for 5 years and listened to different songs, and then found Jeff on there. And I was working as a singer-songwriter, and what really struck me about it was it had the same kind of sense that the songs were kind of a form of exorcism. And I think everybody has got that thing in the past, or that sad note that really resounds, and that's what I'm into.
Yeah.
Well, I've always thought of it as like more of a sentimental kind of thing, more than a melancholy, because for me in my day-to-day life, I kind of have to keep my guard up, because I have things to do. I can't be affected by everything, and so when I sit down to write, and it's like you said, it's cathartic, so I can actually sit down and tell someone how I actually feel about something. I think, and I was thinking about this before, but as far as a listener standpoint, like things that are sentimental are maybe more of a deeper emotion, because happiness is pretty topical, and when you're happy, you just take for granted that you're happy, and everybody feels that. But when you're low down, it's like you're the only person in the world who's ever felt that way. So people resonate with musicians who can do that, because it taps into something and reminds you that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Took me for all of my money. Took me for all of my patience. It was a plain, cold
some well chosen covers to your live set. Is there some sort of science to choosing the perfect covers?
Anything that's in the key of G.
Key of G.
It's kind
No,
of true.
I mean, there's a few that we've played and never played out.
Yeah.
So and there's more to come, and yeah, just we'll play a few and whatever fits, we go on.
Yeah. Well, and I think that like what kind of ends up happening is that, you know, we kind of gravitate towards songs that we like, and those kind of often tend to be the lesser known songs. So if we play like a Beatles song or something, it kind of ends up being a song that, unless you were a Beatles fan, you wouldn't necessarily recognize it as a Beatles song. And not that we do that intentionally, it just kind of works that way
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
All that is mine. All that is gone. River you're going. River we meet next time. All that is mine.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, even the animals on the main stage at ISIS on June 20th.